goodbye to everybody who thought they'd be on our tram. Bye-bye. We'll never see any of them ever again. And they didn't hop on the coolest tram of the day. Let me introduce you to your tour teams. My name's Nick. You know me, I'm going to be your guy. And then we're driving, you see. My hands aren't on a steering wheel. I'm not driving this thing. Because there's a guy next to me up here in the front. You can't see him on the camera, but he's making sure we need to see everything we need to see everything we need to see on the tour. His name's Ron. How about a big round of applause? And hello for Ron up here in the front, yeah? And here's your co-host of the tour. Emmy-nominated host of The Tonight Show on NBC, Mr. Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, hey there. You made it. Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide. And the greatest driver. You're the best. I love it. Even though it owes me $5. I think you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
That's right, Jimmy. A few safety rules to go over. Thank you. First of all, above you, you will see in the ceiling of your tram card running right down the middle, there's a cord. That's the emergency cable. Pull that down if you have a medical emergency or if you stop a person belonging on the side of the tram. Thank you, Frankenstein. That's right. Stay seated for the whole tour. Don't stand up. No, that's not good. That's not good at all, actually. We don't like smoking on here. Yeah? Forget about yourself. And be prepared for some sound effects, loud noises, fire effects, sudden tram movements, and water effects. We should get as wet as those do. And now you're ready for the tour. Now, this is the last time I'm going to be on camera. You know I'm here, but this light is so bright, I got to keep it off for our driver in the front, Mr. Roy. Now look to your left and right here. There's a timeline. This is a chronological order of about 76 highlights of the over 8,000 movies we've produced here at Universal Studios. I'm going to show you a clip of one of those movies on your screens. This is from the 1940s.
I have the room ready for you, Mrs. Barrington.
Thank you, Mark.
Did you hear that? Mrs. Barrington.
Not quite well understood. Very nice. Hello.
Yes?
Jimmy Butler showed me something like this. Make sure that we are not disturbed in any way.
So as you can see, I tricked you there. This wasn't shot in the 40s. Jimmy Fallon just took a face plant in this clip. Shot a couple years ago. Here on the front lot of the studio that we're approaching. So on your screens, you see what the inside of a soundstage looks like, a constructed interior there. And then look to the left side of the tram, you see a large cement complex. That's the outside of the soundstage. And to our left is Soundstage 12, home to the #1 reality singing competition on television.
Hi, I'm Carson Daly from NBC's The Voice. I want to welcome you to the Universal Front Lot. Our show is filmed on stage 12 and happens to be the largest soundstage lot in the world.
Thank you, Carson Daly, host of The Voice on NBC. Take a look around here in the front lot. You see the various Universal sound stages. There are 35 of them in total. And we use these buildings because we can't usually fit all the sound, lighting, and camera equipment it takes to make a movie or television show inside a normal building. So we have to build larger complexes so we can fit all that equipment in there. And then second reason is these buildings are 98% soundproof with the thick walls, so filmmakers really focus in on a quiet environment. Do we have any fans of police procedural shows on the tram? Maybe you watch CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, and look to your left, because that show films in stages 25, 24, 23, and 22. These are the busiest sound stages on the lot. It's a huge hit show on CBS. To your left, you're going to see a sign that says Welcome to Las Vegas, because CSI takes place in Las Vegas, but they don't film it, not even a little bit. They create Las Vegas completely here in Southern California. To your right is Soundstage 28. That's the oldest of the 35. It was constructed in 1925 in an age where it's just that soundstage and basically cornfields all around. The city and Universal have grown quite a bit since then. To To your left, you see stage 27, and on your screens, you see a still from How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The Grinch's lair was constructed inside stage 27, and the director of that film, Ron Howard, he was no stranger to that soundstage. That's also where he constructed NASA mission control for Apollo 13. But today, stage 27 is home to the Mickey Project, a television show that airs Tuesday nights at 9:30 on Fox. It's one of my favorite shows. Some of you I definitely recommend it.
I'm the boss. I'm the boss.
Weird scene they chose to shoot. But that's one project that maybe they're shooting here at Universal Studios Hollywood, which is owned by NBC Universal, a much larger entertainment conglomerate, which also hosts quite a few TV channels, including NBC, E, Sci-Fi, USA, Bravo, Telemundo, the Golf Channel, CNBC, MSNBC, the Weather Channel, Oxygen, Aspire Network, and NBC Sports. Maybe you're a fan. Sorry, Fred. Maybe you're a fan of Chelsea Lately with Chelsea Handler, which shoots at stage 1, airs on the E channel. If you're a fan of Parenthood, that shoots here on the lot as well in stage 44. But before shows like Parenthood, Project, CSI, they film inside these sound stages. Their team has to go through a process called pre-production, and that happens in the bungalows to the left side of the tram. These are all offices of writers, directors, producers, actors. This is where they go to write scripts, develop ideas, cast projects, get sort of the nuts and bolts of the filming process done before they literally start filming. To the left, you're going to see bungalow 5195. It's got the silhouette of Alfred Hitchcock on the side and a sign on the top that says Hannibal. Alfred Hitchcock had his office there when he was developing the show, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, but that Hannibal sign's on there because it's now home to the De Laurentiis company, which produces Hannibal for NBC. Just got renewed for its 3rd season. That's my roommate's favorite show, so it's another one that's on the DVR every week in my apartment. She loves it, and you can begin to feed your fear Friday nights at 10 p.m. this fall, the new season of Hannibal. But with that, we're getting out of the front lot. We've learned all about the sound stages and the production bungalows. That's where we shoot the interior shots on the lot. And as we move forward, we're going into the back lot, where we have large set pieces constructed for exterior shots. Look to the left here. You got a glimpse of New York Street. This is the Universal Studios Metro sets. The first of the big set pieces we're going to see. Now you might recognize these city streets. We're going to see them in a minute. You might recognize them as 1840s America, Steven Spielberg's Amistad, 1920s crime-ridden Los Angeles, from Clint Eastwood's Changeling. This area was the swinging 60s of London for the Austin Powers series. It was modern-day America, and it was almighty. It was even the future in Back to the Future 2, where Robert Zemeckis created his imagining of the year 2015. If you've seen Back to the Future 2, you know they had like floating cars and hoverboards in that movie. I don't think we're going to have flying cars and hoverboards next year, but they sure did in the 80s. So as we round the corner here, have your cameras ready because you're going to be seeing to the right the Metro sets of Universal Studios. We are now in New York City, and I'm going to turn it over to Jimmy here. He lives in New York, he hosts SNL, or he used to be on SNL for so many years, so he knows more about this city than I do.
Everyone, welcome to New York. I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. Once got mugged over there. That old one. Talk later. Here's my favorite hot dog guy. Hey, buddy. How's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. Hey, I'm walking here. I'm walking here. Hey, it's cool, guys. I was just walking. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
Now all the buildings that you see around you here in our Metro sets, they're what we call in the movie industry facades. They're not real buildings. We only construct the front and the side because that's all that the camera sees, and your mind actually fills in the rest when you see it on the screen. So that's why we can only use this area for exterior shots. There's nothing inside any of those buildings. We We are checking out of the big city, and as we head up the hill, I want you to imagine we're actually flying across the ocean. Because the next stop on the tour is a very mysterious island, brought to life by Peter Jackson in his 2005 remake of King Kong. We're going to Skull Island.
The original King Kong had the main plot. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9. I like films that just take you away from your life. Sweep you up with adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times.
Here we go, through the gates of Skull Island. Now this tramp can't go in reverse. Nope, so there is no turning back now. I hope you're ready for King Kong 360 3D.
So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island. It was great to have you all on the ride. Now we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, just put them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island. We really put a lot of thought into the character and personality of Kong, and he's so much more than a monster. In fact, he's not a monster. He is an incredibly majestic, ancient creature. He's a force of nature. He's old, he's wise, he's proud, he's fierce, and obviously he has a heart. The most important feature of Kong are his eyes. Kong's eyes are wonderfully expressive. They're full of emotion. His eyes are like a window into his personality. He's had an enormous number of encounters with his foes, the T-Rexes and various dinosaurs.
largest and most intense 3D experience on the planet. What you guys think? Did you enjoy your time at Skull Island today? That's pretty cool, right? Pretty cool? Awesome. Well, that was brought to you by Peter Jackson and his friends at the special effects company, Weta Digital. Weta Digital has won 5 Academy Awards for their work in special effects. They not only brought to life Skull Island, if you're a fan of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, they brought you Middle Earth for those films. If you're a fan of James Cameron's Avatar, they brought to life Pandora. Without you, one of their reps is going to speak to you here in just a moment.
With a Project Red Studio tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side.
Working on a movie, we always know people are looking straight ahead, they're looking for shots that they're working on.
Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts. Because it's one giant shot. This tram that's driving along through Skull Island is where the camera's from. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away. We really create you about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels.
Now during King Kong 360 3D, towards the very end, one of the T-Rexes grabbed our tram car, pulled us into a ravine, we started swinging in some vines, right? And the T-Rex actually ripped one of our tram cars away. We could see it in the movie. It swung away from us in the vines. And our vehicle here, it became a part of the movie around us when we were on the attraction. So because of that, our vehicle is what we call in the movie industry a picture car, which is basically any car used in a movie or a television show. And coming up, get your cameras ready because we're going to look at a lineup of some of the top picture cars from the whole Universal canon. They're the left side of the tram, lit beautifully at night, and I'll show you on your screens how these cars were used in movies. Towards the end of our lineup, we have the Fast and Furious vehicles. And I'm going to turn it over to Ludacris here.
All right, fire them up! We go live and fire. It's time for ignition.
Fast and Furious 6 opened up last summer to record-breaking box office numbers. The Fast and Furious series is the most lucrative in Universal history.
Too fast, too furious. I'm too fast for y'all, man. Too fast, furious, too fast. Like the bull.
Check out Fast and Furious 7 in theaters April 5th, 2015, just a couple months away. And then there's one more picture car in the lineup coming up to the left. It's a Mercedes from one of the most successful movies of all time. We are island hopping today. We're going from Isla Nublar, or excuse me, from Skull Island to Isla Nublar. That's where we are now.
To Jurassic Park.
Everything you see around you here was used by Steven Spielberg while he was filming Jurassic Park and The Lost World Jurassic Park. There is a Jurassic Park 4 in the works. It's being filmed. It's going to be called Jurassic World. So be ready for that in theaters. I think about it, probably a year or so. But we actually have one of the dinosaurs on display here. We touched it. It's being filmed right now. So check out the cage coming up to the right. Oh, I'm sorry about that. It looks like it's weird. The cage is destroyed. I don't know what's happening. Oh no! The dinosaurs have escaped! The dinosaurs got out of the cages. That's why it's destroyed. Look out for the right side of the tram. It's the spinning Dilophosaurus. Cut down in your seats if you don't want to get hit. And wipe that off your skin if they get their juices on you. Most likely extremely poisonous. So we're going to call security as quickly as possible up here in the front. And we're going to get out of Jurassic Park, escape the danger, and head into Mexico. But before we get there, check out this weather report.
Here's today's forecast for the Universal Backlot. It's going to be sunny and dry at 6 Points, Texas. Cool and cloudy in Little Europe. Expect snow and sleet on New York Street, and we've got a high chance of fog and precipitation for Skull Island, Amity Island, and Island of God. That's your forecast for today.
Well, thank you for that wonderful forecast, Mr. Al Roker. Catch him as America's favorite weatherman on the Today Show. And I'm going to get some theme music going for us here in Old Mexico. Now, I gave you a weather report for the lot because I'm going to give you a demonstration on how we create weather for the future. So you see, we've got some thunder going. And I just got to press a couple buttons up here in the front. And then 3, 2, 1, boom. We got our rain system happening as well. So we live in beautiful Southern California. You were in the studio today. It was absolutely gorgeous. So something was filming today and it needed rain. Well, they were out of luck. They got to create the rain on their own. You can't rely on natural weather. So the sprinkler system runs throughout the whole lot. And we combine the water here with evaporated milk. We do that so you can actually see it on the movie screen because it makes it a little cloudier. You can't see normal water very well. So you know, when Gene Kelly and Debbie Reynolds were singing in the rain, no, they were singing in the milk in that movie. What is that? Oh no! Oh, I pressed the wrong buttons! The floodgates at the top of the hill open! Look out, the Universal Studios flash flood! That is thousands of gallons of recycled water. We're very green here in the studio. California's in a drought. So we reuse that water. It goes right back up to the top of the hill. Or whenever we need a flood, like we did for Big Fat Liar. Check it out.
You can't outrun the wolf, kid! Yeah, we'll see about that. Hang on, funny folks!
And from Mexico, we've gone back into the United States, and here we are in Texas. The western sets around you known as 6 Points, Texas. There's no good western without a good showdown. Jimmy knows all about that.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us, Jimmy Fallon.
Well, I ain't going anywhere, Jimmy Fallon.
Now look here. My folks in this town don't want no trouble. They just want to check out 6 Points, one of the oldest sets on the Universal line.
I hear this where John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart shot a few of their westerns.
That's right. That's where I aim to shoot you.
Looks like we got ourselves a Mexican standoff.
Now, in the 1920s, during the era of the silent film, those western sets were constructed, and Universal was making around 200 westerns a year. They were the bread and butter of our cinema for the 20s. But then, when the 30s rolled around, a new genre was born, the monster movie. And the monster movie, classic films like Frankenstein, Dracula, The Bride of Frankenstein, each became the bread and butter of Universal cinema, funded us through the Great Depression, and those movies shot right here in Little Europe.
Please open in your tent, welcome him indoors and wait for me. Are you ready? Go! Your horses and go!
Look at the monsters. Dracula, Frankenstein, Bride, The Mummy, Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Invisible Man, and the opera classic. It's just brilliant. That Frankenstein image, it's one of the great icons of the world. That to me was like the essence of the Universal horror film. I was just mesmerized by it. George Carlin, Lon Chaney.
I remember the original Universal Studios Mummy movie really scary.
It's still ringing on memories now.
As at the top of the hill, take a look to your right. You're going to see a courtyard up here. It looks gorgeous at night. All the buildings, the windows are lit up. This is called the Court of Miracles here to your right. So named after the first movie that shot here was named The Miracle Man. It came out in 1919. So these buildings were constructed in 1918. They're almost 100 years old. They're the oldest on the lot, some of the oldest around the whole world. Home to monster tales like HBO's True Blood, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel, Pirates of the Caribbean. But we can convert the European streets to any city across the European continent. It doesn't have to be a monster movie. And Jimmy knows about that. He's going to teach you a little bit here. Check this out.
Mi chiamo Jimmy Fallon e sono una grossa bottiglia di vino.
Same building as France. We just changed the things around.
Je l'aurais été baguette.
Hallo, ich bin
Finally,
Jimmy
same
Fallon.
building, but now it's
Karl
different.
Schnitzer. Ich glaub, dies geht auf mich.
I don't think you like you at all, Jimmy. I really don't. Now, we just drove by a backyard and a house set. It's now to the left side of the tram, and that's the set of a talk show on the Hallmark Channel called Home and Family. Home and Family is a like a DIY talk show. It's a do-it-yourself show. Hosts Christina Ferrari and Mark Steinis. They show you new recipes, gardening, making things around the house. You actually come out of the show with a product. If you're interested in making some things, check out Home and Family. But we're moving on. We're going inside of one of our sound stages. Good choice to ride the tour at night because there was live filming in this sound stage today. It was a hot set earlier today. But now that it's the evening time, nothing's happening. They're letting the trams drive through. And this set, obviously an underground subway set, it's the streets of San Francisco. And this is a permanent installation, which means we can't change this set around like we can in a lot of the other sound stages. We can build and deconstruct different sets based on what's filming there. But this is permanent. This is always the subway station. And it can really be any subway station around the world. Now there's a floor above us that's like a metro street set, so you can film the actors walking down the stairs here and coming into this underground. Okay, my mic is back. My camera's gone out, but my mic is working. Ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing tonight, folks. Please hold on and remain calm. Just remember one thing. Whoa! The second floor is falling! Okay. Okay, I think we made it to the worst of it. And then, oh no! The water main in the facility exploded! The doors are open, I can see our way out! We made it! Is everybody okay? Okay, good. Give yourselves a round of applause. You just survived an 8.3 on the Richter scale. We call that the big one here in Southern California. And here's what that earthquake looks like in a real TV show. This is Bones on Fox.
What's going on?
Let's get out of here! The water main just broke!
I don't know about you guys, but after an earthquake like that, I personally could use a little vacay. You know what I'm saying? I know it's nighttime, but I think if we make a pit stop at the beach, we should be able to take a breather here. Now, we're going to MBL, and I'm going to be honest with you, they've been terrorized by a shark recently, but look to the right side of the tram. We caught the shark a couple days ago. There's a guy in the water, his name's Security Guard Steve. He caught that shark. It's a fresh fish. Get a photo of that. He's going to come out of the water in just a minute and tell us a little bit about this area. He's oh wait, there's a fin. Is there a fin in the water? Steve, there's a shark. Steve. Okay, Steve wasn't able to catch every shark, obviously. They told us to clear the area, but we have to pause here on this bridge. There's nothing I can do. Yeah, oh look, the shark, he's taking the bait of the yellow barrel. Took the bait there and he took the whole pier. It's a huge shark we are dealing with. Whoa. Great idea to I can't see in the water. We're gonna need a bigger truck. That bridge is on fire. Say hello to my little friend there. That is Bruce. That's the animatronic shark used by Steven Spielberg while filming his 1975 blockbuster classic, Jaws. And Bruce was designed for freshwater. This is a freshwater pool here. However, Spielberg wanted to be more realistic, which is great. He decided to film in salt water, but he ran into a little trouble bringing a freshwater shark to salt water.
It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the radio waves. They were always saying, the shark is not working. Repeat, the shark is not working. We just waited around.
The shark was working well enough for a while there, and it was a full time. So I knew the shark a lot.
Okay, so I was wrong. I can admit it. The beach is not the right spot for our mini vacay today. We're going to get out of the danger. We're going to head into a more suburban area of the back block. And coming up to the right side of the tram, you're going to see this house. The Chicken Ranch. The Chicken Ranch was constructed for the Dolly Parton musical, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, but it was most recently used for a brand new NBC sitcom called About a Boy. There it is, to our right. Chicken Ranch. About a Boy was filming here all this week for their new episodes this fall, and it premiered this spring, so it's going to be season 2. Check it out on NBC. You'll see this house. Oh, there's one song. Somebody's known Minnie Driver is the star of that television show. And we're going to turn down one of our suburban streets here. And you might better recognize this street as Wisteria Lane. Its name on a universal map is Colonial Street, but for 8 seasons on ABC, the 4 Desperate Housewives lived here. Look to your left, there's a brown and white house. That was home to Gabrielle Solis on the show, played by Ava Longoria. Coming up to the left now is the yellow and stone house. That was home to Susan Meyer, played by Terry Hatcher. To the right is a blue and brick house. That was home to Free Vandekamp, played by Marcia Cross. And back to the left, there's a tan house. That was home to Lynette Scavo, played by Emmy winner Felicity Huffman on the show. Desperate Housewives was so popular that between seasons 1 and 2, ABC constructed this cul-de-sac here at the end of the street. They literally extended Colonial Street so they could use it for more exterior shots of Wisteria Lane. Do we have any Desperate Housewives fans on the tram? Right here, car 1, big fan. Me too, I love the show. Anybody else? No, it's me and you. It's me and you. That's okay. I feel you. We're together on that. But even if you're not, even if you're not a fan of Desperate Housewives, like 99.9% of the time, you still might recognize this street. There's lots of TV history here. Look to your right, back at the yellow and stone house. That was Susan Meyer's house. It was originally constructed as the home of the Hardy Boys. And now to the right, we're passing by a purple house. It's Victorian style. That's 1313 Mockingbird Lane, the home of the Munsters. The Cleaver family of Leave It to Beaver and Matlock called this street home. If you grew up in the 90s like I did, you're probably a big fan of the movie Casper. Christina Ricci. It's shot on this street as well. Before the gossipy Desperate Housewives moved in.
If there is one thing everyone in suburbia can appreciate, it's a good neighbor.
What the heck? Let's move back.
To find a suburban set around the back lot. As you can see from Columbia Street, there's lots of houses there to choose from. So the filmmaker gets a set that takes place in suburbia. But you know, that's not always the case. Sometimes you get a script that takes place in somewhere fantastical. You've got to design a set from scratch. And that's the situation Ron Howard was in when he was directing Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. To your right is Martha Mayhew and Cindy Lou Who's homes from the Whoville set. Ron Howard and his team used 2 million linear feet of styrofoam and the equivalent of 9 football fields of artificial snow to create Whoville. But the residents of Whoville, they have so much more to worry about now than just the Grinch, because they live right next door to a psycho. The psycho, Norman Bates, the undertaker of the Bates Motel. And up on the hill you can see his home, the Psycho House. 2 of the most iconic sets still in existence. From Alfred Hitchcock's 1960 psycho thriller, Psycho. Excuse me, it's titled. No. Like you see on your screen, Vera Miles, she's going up the hill to the Psycho House. We're doing the same thing, it's coming up to your left. Look up to the second floor window. Mother still hangs out here. But as we've rounded the corner, we are now going through one of the most colossal sets ever constructed. The fantastic crash site from Steven Spielberg's epic War of the Worlds, starring Tom Cruise, Dakota Fanning, and Justin Chapman. That's a real plane to the left side of the tram. Universal purchased it from a plane graveyard for $60,000 in Arizona. So like, it was an older plane, and so we bought it from there, we destroyed it to the way you see it today, and brought it here to the back lot. So if you have $60,000 lying around, go to Arizona and buy a plane.
You're doing good. Robbie, get in.
Right side of the tram. That's not lit as well as some of the other buildings on the back lot. It's cabin to our right. It literally is completely dark. No one's home. But that cabin was used for the film Shooter with Mark Wahlberg. They actually blew it up at the end of that movie with computer-generated imagery. Denzel Washington used that cabin for the film Deja Vu. Denzel Washington used that cabin for the film Deja Vu. Did I do that? Now, look behind the tram, off to the right side, there's a big wall standing up. It's pretty dark now, as you can't tell. That's a big blue wall, and it's one of the largest freestanding backdrops in the world. And we can paint a sky on that wall, or put the computer image of the sky on it to create a vast location. See, that's that blue wall. It makes it look like you're in the ocean. The blue walls in the background of all these scenes. Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides filmed in front of this wall as well. They built an actual pirate ship that they swung back and forth to create the sea sequences from that movie. Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio shot there, the scene where the van is falling in slow motion off the bridge. Everybody's like flying around asleep in the car. That was shot in Tulsa as well. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we've just about reached the end of our tour. We've looked at 102 years of movie moments and memories tonight. I hope you guys had some fun. I hope you got some awesome photos out there to put up on social media later. Make all your friends jealous. Check in at Universal. And I hope you learned a little bit about the magic of movie. On the tour today, we went from New York to Skull Island to Jurassic Park to Mexico to Europe. I mean, the possibilities are endless.
I can't believe it. We've made it to the end of our tour, you guys. How about...
Amazing, Nick.
And
super cool, Roy.
Aren't they the best? Hey, before we go, I'd like to sing you a little song I made up. I was just 5 years old. It's called Tramtastic.
If you're an annual
had a real good time.
Thank you so much for coming back and visiting us once again at Universal Studios Hollywood, the entertainment capital of LA. Visit the Universal Trading Company at the front of the park if you want to inquire about an annual pass. The park is going to be open for a little bit longer until 10 p.m. today. So you still can ride a couple rides. You've got about an hour and a half left at the studio. If you haven't seen Waterworld yet, there's probably 1 or 2 shows left of it. It's a really cool thrill show and definitely worth your time. Now you're going to be exiting the tram to the left, returning your 3D glasses into one of the bins you see provided. And if you have any final questions for me, comments, concerns, I'm going to hop out as well. I'd love to have a chat with you. If you want to take a selfie, I'm ready for that too. But if not, no worries. Have a wonderful rest of your night. A fantastic night, in fact. As we say in the movie industry, that's a wrap. Bye-bye, everybody.
Just for the day.